Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Myth Keepers. We are your hosts. I am Scott, and joining me, as always, the most virile mud wrestler around, lover of eating little birds, first of his name, it's Zachary Attackery!
Dude, I have been known in my day to get down with a little mud wrestling.
Hell yeah, brother. Getting down and dirty. You like it dirty.
Down and dirty.
You like it a little dirty, I hear.
Yes, I do.
You also love a wig, apparently. I mean, not that I'm accusing you that that's not natural.
This is all I was about to say, you cunt. This is a natural.
Yeah, you dyed your hair. You went Targaryen for a while, and now you're continuing your Brave cosplay.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell
no,
yeah.
it's an Alicent cosplay.
Alicent does not have flaming red hair.
Well, she does in my heart.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, I'm here for that. I'm here for Alice. Alicent lives in all our hearts. All of us that aren't filthy
a lot of people
commons
don't
anyway.
like.
Well, yeah,
Alicent.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, those are the filthy commons. If you're not a filthy common, you like Alicent. That's my new stance. That's my new take.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We are here, Zach. This is Season 2, Episode 8, the finale of Season 2, The Queen Who Ever Was, a title Zach is very confused by. I tried to explain it to him. It did not work even a little bit. He was like, you mean the Queen Who Never Was? And I'm like, nope, that's Rhaenys. She's dead. I still don't think he got it. Zachy boy, I am. Well, first of all, there's a lot we need to talk about. This is a long episode. First of all, a lot happened, and I, for one, am very excited to talk to you about.
Oh, good. Okay. This typically does not happen.
Okay.
I'm prefacing for the listeners and watchers. I typically do not have any inkling if Scott has liked or disliked an episode. But my wife came in here and held a gun to Scott's.
That's true. She did. I was in mortal danger. Head. Yeah. I was in peril.
She said she said, you better fucking tell me if you liked it or not. And Scott said I did, but he can't say much more. So I am happy to say that we need to tell you all listeners right now that we will hear no slander, because I know that many people just like to complain about shit being slow when there's not a fucking fight. So I'm just going to say this right now.
Okay.
This was a beautiful episode.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to fucking talk about.
Okay. True. Let me give a small caveat, because I know I will shake to where I think I know where a lot of people are going to come from after this episode.
Okay.
Because I am of a little bit of two minds about it. Loved almost everything about it, but at the same time, I am blue balls all the way to hell.
Yes.
Like, I am all gooned up over here. Is that, did I do that right? That episode kept me gooning the entire time.
Hashtag gooning. If you want to know more about gooning, go subscribe. Oh my God. If you want to know more about gooning, go subscribe to our Patreon.
Yes.
We are goon experts over there.
Yes. So I have a feeling that is where a lot of the pushback on this episode is going to come from, of like, hey, why didn't you just make this season 10 episodes and give us what we want? Give us what you tease. Battles. Yes.
Yeah.
Which I can understand.
Sure.
But I also can understand and appreciate that as great as this show looks and as large of a scale it is, it cannot be easy or cheap to make. So I can also understand and appreciate that, the considerations have to be made. And what we did get in this episode was great.
Yes.
Was honestly great.
Yes.
So
Hell yes.
I am here and I am willing to wait, is what I'm saying, I guess. I am here to goon for the long term.
We're gooning. What is it going to be? Like another year and a half, probably 2 years?
2 years, most likely, I would say. I mean, look at the fucking scale of this shit. They turned it up to 11, too.
A big part of the filming of this season took place during the strike.
That's also true.
So I wonder if that's why this season was delayed so much. I mean, hey, I would love to get another season next year, but I don't know. We shall see. Anyway, let's talk about this fucking episode, man.
Let's do it.
Okay, you kick it off
with your boy Thailand negotiating, right?
Tyrod.
That's the first season. Tyrod, Tywin. That hurt me a little bit when she called him that, because I'm like, boy, he ain't.
No fucking
slow down,
Tywin.
Chief. He ain't no Tywin.
Hey, actually, just so you know, all our new dragons have been added to the tapestry in the intro theme.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, just cool little point out. Just wanted to let everybody know that they're all there. One big happy family. I'm sure it's going to last.
But there's still no Rhaenys shout out in the tapestry. Isn't that what everyone was all pissed about?
No, I don't think that there is.
Yeah.
I mean,
see, that seems messed
there
up.
there is. I know that last week or in previous weeks, like there's an image that like has the 3 dragons, like it has
like fighting.
Yeah, I mean it's basically it has the 3 dragons of the battle.
About.
No. The 3 dragons at Rook's Rest, which was Vhagar, Meleys, and Sunfire.
Sure.
But it doesn't. There's no like. It doesn't pay any homage to Rhaenys.
Gotcha.
But anyway, all right. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
No. This is a big long negotiation, Thailand, with the Triarchy. I thought all this was fine. Whatever. I have decided I don't like Thailand nearly as much as Jason. That's my new.
New
take.
No.
I think I already probably had that take. Jason is my guy. Thailand, he's whatever.
Yeah, I could. This episode would have been totally fine if it was just the negotiation. The negotiation is fine, but the stuff afterwards with Thailand is.
I didn't dislike it, but you're spot on. It would have been totally fine without it, and they could have honestly made the negotiation scene even a little bit faster if they wanted to.
Yeah,
but whatever, it's fine. It wasn't like it was bad by any means. While we're here, like, was there anything you wanted to say about all the Thailand stuff? Just get it out of the way now.
I mean,
I do.
Lohar has lots of wives. Apparently, that's pretty tight. Good for them.
How many wives? That. You know what? Spot on, Thailand. How many wives is the correct question?
Wait, so
in
you
that
want
situation?
me to fuck your wives?
Right. Where he's
well,
like,
how many are there?
How many times do I have to get it up? I'm gonna need some Blue Chew before this night is over.
This podcast is not sponsored by Blue Chew, but we are open.
You know what?
Hit our DMs, Blue Chew.
I thought it did hit me a little funny when she specifically said to him, I want to have children with you. And I was like, damn, children, multiple. She's like, she wants to commit long term to his ass. And then I was like, oh, it makes sense. No, she just wants
put one in each of my
wives. Yeah, exactly.
That's insane.
Hey, get after
Love that
Thailand.
for them.
Love that for them. True. Then what happens? I am gonna need to rely on you for the order of things here. Great.
Okay, yeah, sure. So yeah, we get a very quick flyover scene of Aemond looking like his old triangle face self, looking at this.
It's good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, no kidding. Good to see that triangle. He has just burned.
Right.
I do not
something point.
Yes.
Beside the point.
Correct.
The name of it is beside the point.
Yes, he fucking raged because he's pissed that Rhaenyra has more dragons, and he went on a little rampage and burned a black controlled city, small city.
Because spoiler alert, almond milk sucks, and he's a little petulant baby child.
Yeah, that expiration date is gone. Almond milk needs to be thrown out.
Yeah.
I do not stand. That's what happens.
Zach took him out of the fridge, gave him the sniff test, and is like, "Ooh, yeah, gotta put that down the sink and
some
throw that
chunks
out
in there."
Yeah, definitely. He's all chunked up.
All chunked up.
He's all chunked up. I was confused by this. I was like, is he like?
Is this the aftermath of
is this the aftermath of something the Blacks did that he's like coming too late, or did he do this? Obviously, we find out later that he threw a little temper tantrum and did this himself.
Correct.
What happens after that?
Yeah, so where we learn of this temper tantrum is Larys is talking to Aegon.
Right. Okay.
And I'm just delighted to be back with Aegon anytime I can. Larys visits him, and he attempts to persuade Aegon to flee. Says, "Listen, pal, we got lots of money, and we can go to Bravos. We can get the fuck out of here, bro. Just you and me, best buds, because apparently that's a thing."
Yeah, apparently they're just the bestest of buddies now.
They're just chaps, man. So he's like, "Hey, let's go to the Free Cities. We'll be safe." Aegon pushes back, and Larys is like, "Listen, buddy, your brother is gonna kill your fucking ass, dude. And if he doesn't, Rhaenyra is gonna kill your fucking ass."
Yep.
And then we get this interesting bit from Aegon where he's just sitting in his misery, kind of not really even hearing the stuff that Larys is telling him.
Yeah, his ass is ignoring.
He's burnt, he's crippled, and he even says, I'm paraphrasing, "My cock is burned. Did they tell you that?"
Hey, bro. Did you hear about my dick? What happened with that? Did you hear? Did you know?
It burst open like a sausage on a spittle. He says he can't even piss without it running down his leg.
Yep.
And when Larys suggests to him that they get the fuck out of there and then come back after the fact to reclaim his place on the throne, he starts throwing out all these monikers at him. Aegon the Peaceful, Aegon the, whatever. And then he says,
the Rebuilder.
Aegon say that again?
The Rebuilder was one of them.
The Rebuilder, yeah. And then Aegon responds with Aegon the Realm's Delight. And if I am not mistaken, is this not what Rhaenyra's moniker was during season 1? Like young Rhaenyra?
That does sound vaguely familiar now that you mention that.
I think she was called the Realm's Delight. So that's very interesting.
I didn't know. I didn't know how to take this. Was he saying this like in a very tongue-in-cheek, like sarcastic way, like the Realm's Delight, as in wouldn't the realm like delight to laugh at like a crippled king?
I think that's what it meant. But it's also a double entendre type of deal. Right. Because, I just looked it up. That was Rhaenyra's moniker when she was young.
Right. So, yes, I took it as he's saying it sarcastically, like, yeah, I'm sure the people would love to delight to laugh and, point at the crippled king. But he didn't. The way he delivered it, I wasn't 100% sure. I was like, well, I don't know, maybe he does view himself as a possible, like, savior. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's the first one for sure. Yeah, I'm much like you. I'm always happy to see our dude Aegon. I'm happy to get like some more coherence from him, because obviously the last couple episodes have been just him being in pain a lot.
Yes, for sure.
Which Tom, our dude Tom did well. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yes,
but it's just like I want to see more coherence from him.
Yeah,
so I was happy to see this.
Aegon does also. We learn and we finally get some finality to this. Sunfire is dead.
Yeah.
I think it had been expected for a while now, but
as dead as his dick, bro.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, poor thing.
Okay,
and then moving forward, so we get this scene I like this scene because it's just a different dynamic that we've had a chance to, experience. But we see Jace meet Ulf.
Oh, Jace, Ulf, and Hugh. Yeah.
Yes.
I like this scene too.
And Ulf is being a real fucking twat.
let me
I'm gonna let you talk about this one.
Absolutely. Let me get out ahead of the curve here and say I fucking love Ulf.
I knew you would.
I mean, how could I not? Ulf is my
this
fucking
is basically Gilderoy Lockhart.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Just total misplaced confidence. Just no manners. I have two new favorite characters this episode. We'll get to the other one later. That one may not be super surprising or super new, but Ulf is the first one. Ulf cracks me up. I love him. I love the energy from my guy.
Yeah. Jace does tell him, he basically talks to him about Aemond and Vhagar, and he's like, are you prepared to face an enemy like that? If this doesn't work, or like we lose for basically for you being a sloth, for you being like a piece of shit who's not taking this seriously, that he will see him hanged. I also kind of love that Ulf is like, yeah, buddy, I'm fucking chilling, man. My feet are up. Who are you? And Hugh's like,
doesn't know who he is.
Dude, that's the fucking prince, my boy. And Ulf is like,
and then Ulf,
Mobby.
Ulf immediately switches gears to like, yo, bro, like, let's hug it out. Like, you're the prince? Oh, my guy. Look at us. We're dragon riders, right? Like, who would have thunk? Aren't we so cool and swell?
We're on the same level, basically.
Yeah, we're on the same level. Let me touch your hair. Let me feel you up. And Jace is not having it.
Which we know that this is just attacking a part of Jace that is not okay with
Very sensitive topic, for
Very
sure.
sensitive. Yeah. In his head, maybe just a bit.
Hey, Hugh, stand-up guy, by the way. Just seems like just the most, like, stand-up of gentlemen's, except for that one time when he punched that poor fucker out. But
for lettuce. Yeah. Yes.
for lettuce. True. Literally true.
All right. So moving forward, we get a quick talk between Rhaenyra and Corlys.
Oh, yeah. Solid chat here.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. Seen this scene, I wish we had a few more of these.
Yeah.
In previous episodes.
We talked about this. They needed more. This is her hand.
Yes,
and
it is her hand.
Is giving her sound advice here.
Yes.
And I love that. It did seem almost like surprising because it's the first time we've gotten it. So it's like, oh, this seems weird and out of place. We probably should have had more of these.
So what is the advice that Corlys gives Rhaenyra, Scott?
Basically, don't count your chickens. Because Rhaenyra thinks, oh man, it's Jover. It's so Jover. They're just going to immediately surrender. Even though almond milk just went and burned this town down. And Corlys is like, you better check it again. You better check your numbers there. He's not going to just roll over. You're forgetting about Dreamfire. You're forgetting about, what's her name? Helaena. And, yeah, just kind of like, hey, caution. You can't just sit on your laurels and expect this to end on its own.
Yes.
You need to strike.
Sound advice.
Yes.
Rhaenyra responds with, well, Helena's not a warrior. Like, she doesn't even ride her dragon.
Yeah.
This isn't something she likes to do.
Do you even ride, bro? Like, really?
Pretty much. And Corlys is like, listen, dude, like, when you put people in a corner like this, like, you can't count her out. Like, she can ride her dragon, and that is a dragon we need to account for. It's
apparently
also
Dreamfire's old as shit.
Old, yes. Yeah. And very capable is what it sounds like. So
I did not expect that. I kind of viewed Dreamfire as probably like, I mean, we've never seen it, but I just kind of imagined it as, I guess, a smaller dragon. But yeah, I guess to Rhaenyra's credit, she kind of seems like she's right, because what we see later from Helaena is that, yeah, she does not want to fight.
Yeah.
But I have to have a feeling that she's going to join the fray at some point.
She has to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh, and this is where we get Corliss's new ship name.
Right.
Which is the queen who...
Which is it? Which, be careful. Pronounce that N.
Never was.
Chuck it again.
Man, R.I.P. Rhaenys.
Yeah, true.
He does say, what I do now, I do for her. And it's just a good callback to that moment that he had with Bela. And you gotta love Rhaenys.
Hell yeah.
We fucking love Rhaenys on this podcast. You got anything else to say about the scene?
Nope. That was it.
Okay. So Sir Alfred Broom arrives in Harrenhal, and he treats with Daemon. And there's this very ominous kind of like moment when they're walking up to the Godswood to go talk, and kind of the whisper in the wind whispers the word traitor. And Alfred has the most Scooby-Doo ass fucking face. Like,
yeah.
Did I hear that? Did you hear that? Like,
yeah.
Oh man, it was ridiculous. And Daemon's just like, listen, buddy, like this place is gonna fuck with you. Like this place, what does he say? This place will have you yelling at the moon, barking at the moon.
Yeah. I love that Daemon has just fully embraced his Harrenhal, his ghosty Harrenhal cursed home now. He's just like, yeah, bro, it just happens. You just gotta learn to roll.
Yeah, man. It took me a couple weeks.
It took me a couple weeks, but you'll get used to it. Like even later in the episode when he wakes up and she's just sitting, Alice Rivers just sitting on his bed. He just rolls with it. He's like, do you ever sleep? Or like, he's not like, what are you doing here? Why are you sitting on my bed? He just rolls with it. Like Daemon has come to terms with creepy ass Harrenhal.
100%. So Alfred Broom attempts to like encourage the thoughts that Daemon has been having.
Yes.
That the realm needs a king.
Hey, bro, maybe you should be king actually, though.
And he wants to flip sides to support Daemon in this cause. And Daemon just kind of goes, huh, okay.
Okay, cool.
And sits on it. And I mean, we talked about this quite a bit last episode or in previous episodes, but it's definitely been my call that Daemon has now kind of completed this arc, which I was very on the fence about. I'm going to restate this here. Very on the fence about his journey through Harrenhal, like all the visions as they were happening. But now that we've gotten to the end of the season, recalling especially those last couple flash or visions that he has.
With Patty.
With Patty. I think it's just so brilliant and it's such a great way to show his like him trying to like find his resolve, I guess. Sure. And because of this suggestion from Sir Alfred Broom and Daemon saying, okay, and doesn't really like give us anything on that, I was like, yep, like Daemon has basically, if he's not ready to pledge himself fully back to Rhaenyra, he's like on that brink.
Maybe I don't think he was ready for that until after his next vision, though. Well, like those seeds have been planted, but I don't think I think he would have accepted this dude's like pledge and loyalty if he doesn't get this, and still made a play for himself if he doesn't get this final vision.
I think that this final vision really helps and like definitely seals the coffin on that one.
Sure.
But I think that Daemon would have still found his way back to Rhaenyra. Like I just think that seems like the natural. I mean, I could be wrong though, but either way.
To be honest, I'm still a little torn with what you're talking about, Daemon's journey through this season. I think it did feel like it's just like we could have gotten there a little bit faster. Right. He did a lot of ghost busting. And I like I didn't dislike any of it, to be fair. But okay. I don't need the tie-in stuff. Am I the only one that feels this way? It's like, I don't need this to like tie back to the Song of Ice and Fire stuff. And that
I agree.
What fully gets Daemon back on board with.
I agree 1000%, dude.
Like, if that's how it is in the books and this is George's vision and this is what he wants it to be, fair play, fine. But if this is something the show is doing to be like, hey, Game of Thrones, remember that? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I'm just like, we don't need it.
So here's the thing is like, can this be simply a piece of Targaryen history that has always been kept quiet and we don't know about, and it's being revealed in the show? Sure. I mean, we've never gotten to watch and like live this experience of a Targaryen who sits on the throne. So can this be a thing? Yes. I think the fact that this has become like a very driving force in the plot, I do think feels a little fan servicey.
Yeah.
Can it work and still tell a great story? Sure. And I'm going to take it for what it is. And if it turns out to be like, I mean, this all could have been done without it, then I'll say that at the end of this.
Yeah.
If it truly is a catalyst in the events that like unfold in I guess this civil war, then so be it. Then that is the way that it is, you know. But yeah, it definitely feels a little fan servicey. The vision, the Dany shot from her back, like with the dragons, definitely felt a little fan servicey.
The White Walker one.
It was very cool though. I mean, it was cool to see.
The vision itself was cool. Like I think I would have been fine with all just the kind of the scenes of like the death and destruction and the dragons dying more though. I would have been fine with that because like we know that's coming. We know like, you know, the dragons have to get wiped out at some point. You know? So we know like that the war and the death and destruction are coming. I don't know. It's like I said, I just don't know how I feel. Would feel better if it was like the other stuff, the other visions, the Patty stuff, like him talking to his dead brother and, you know, Alice Rivers kind of imparting this like, hey, the crown is like a weight, a duty, you know, a curse almost more than it is like a privilege. I feel like I would just feel better about Daemon's motivations if that's what turned him around back to Rhaenyra's side than, hey, we've the Song of Ice and Fire, winter is coming. Like, we got to do something about this winter, bro. Yeah. I don't know. That did not land for me.
Yeah. I mean, again, to be fair, it didn't pull me out of the episode.
No, sure.
It didn't ruin anything.
No.
I just don't know that it's necessary to tell the story that's being told.
I agree.
I could be proven wrong. There's apparently 2 more seasons of this show, so I could be proven wrong.
Sure.
But anyway, do you want to just talk about that vision since we've kind of...
Real quick before we get into that, big shouts to my boy Simon Strong, my other goat of this series. Just always kind of just hanging out in the background and being a baller. Was it when he pledges himself back to Rhaenyra? You see him behind her being like...
Yes, dude, it's so fucking funny.
Big shouts to Simon Strong.
We were fucking rolling, dude.
That's my fucking guy. And he's the one that finally gets Rhaenyra to come to Harrenhal. So shouts to the GOAT, Simon Strong.
You know, I think it's so funny that like Rhaenyra sends this guy, Alfred Broom,
who immediately flips.
He immediately flips, but she sends him 3-4 episodes ago.
Yeah. And
in this episode,
he arrives.
Simon Strong is like, he arrives. Simon Strong is like, oh, this is no good.
I heard some
sends
shit.
A letter, and Rhaenyra flies her ass over there in this one episode.
I mean,
it's
to
wild.
be fair, she can fly. Broom cannot. True. Also, I did find it hilarious that when he shows up and they go into the Godswood to talk, And he starts with like, listen, I'm ride or die for your side. Like, fuck those Hightower fuckers. Am I right? Like, I will never be on that team's side. Fast forward to Daemon pledging his loyalty to Rhaenyra. Did you see him piecing out like fucking immediately?
Dude, this guy is the most Scooby-Doo villain that has ever existed. I'm telling you.
He was like pushing his way through the crowd.
He did like the head duck.
Like, yeah, he did no one, do not perceive me. I'm not here.
Do not perceive me. He's just my wife.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so, did you want to talk about the vision more in particular?
No, it's fine. There's a couple more scenes before we get there. We'll get back to it.
Okay.
So, we get this scene with Helaena.
Oh yeah, and Aemond
and
Alicent. Yeah. Good stuff.
And it's very good.
Yes.
Helaena. I wish she had more scenes.
We could use more Helaena.
God, dude, every time she's on screen, I am just entranced by her. I'm so interested in her.
It's almost like she's too important though for the show. She gives she drops too many bombs.
Yeah.
Like truth bombs. Like, so they have to like hide her in a closet so she doesn't like spoil everything. I don't know. I almost get that sense, that
but
feeling.
I just want to see her being her.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
In this moment. Yeah, so she says, I was happier before I was queen.
Mm-hmm. And Alicent's like, hey, I just discovered camping and it's great.
Hey, we should get the fuck out of here, dude.
Trust me. Have you ever been one with nature? Have you ever just backstroked across a lake on your own for a while?
Dude.
It's rad as hell. We should go do that.
Yeah. It's what's even funnier. Sorry, I'm getting ahead here, but when she meets with Rhaenyra and she tries telling Rhaenyra about it, and Rhaenyra's like, okay, like,
oh,
good.
Sick.
I think she even says like, good, okay, like, I'm glad for you.
Yeah,
or something
that's great for you. I'm so happy for you. I'm happy that you discovered the joys of camping. That's swell. Yeah. The great outdoors.
Okay, so Aemond walks in, and I don't have any specific quotes. If you do, you can jump in. But basically what's happening here is Aemond is asking Helaena to gear up.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I need you to suit up. We are going to have to fight. They have a lot of dragons now. And you are a dragon rider with a very capable dragon. So let's roll. And she says she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to kill people. She doesn't want to hurt innocents. And then we get this...
I'm not about that life, she's like.
We get this incredible confrontation between Alicent and Aemond.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a fan of Alicent because I think she's interesting, and I think Olivia Cooke is a great actress.
Yeah. She's a very complex character too,
she is complex. Yes. So there's always just so much to pick apart when you're watching her scenes, but she has a brilliant display of acting here. I feel like her confrontation with Aemond is just like so vicious and like just like so much pours out. And you can tell that this has been like, she's thought about this. She she knows the words that she wants to say to Aemond.
And she does not back down either.
No, I love it.
Alicent, I'll just come out and say, Alicent fucking killed it this episode.
Oh my God, yes.
She crushed it.
Yes. Dude, all right, I just got to get out of the episode for a second here. Like,
is this going to be another shit you've seen on social media rant?
I just genuinely, dude, like,
I am engaging in consumption.
You've been engaging in too much consumption of social media.
Yes, I have. I just cannot fathom people who don't like Alicent.
No, I
can't
either.
Like, I can. Okay, look, hold on. Let me find a better way to say this. It's okay to be like, hey, I like Rhaenyra. I'm Team Black. Like, fuck the Greens, or like even like fuck Alicent to some degree because she's the enemy. Like, I can kind of understand that, but like, if you are not just entranced
Yes.
when she is on screen. What in the fuck are you watching, dude?
The greatest, in my mind, the greatest sin a character can commit is to be boring. And
Yes.
Alicent is not boring at all.
Yes.
Like, if you want to disagree with the things that she does and, you know, dislike her as a person or what have you, I think that's fine. But if you just, like, aren't interested in her as a character, I think that's wild. I think that's crazy.
Truly wild. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I feel like this is stuff that we've said before, and I'm sorry that I always hop back on this horse, but because of how incredible of a showing Olivia Cooke had this episode, I just
for sure.
Just had to say that. Okay, is there anything specific about this confrontation with Aemon that you want to call out, or are we good to...
there was definitely a line that Alicent had, but I forgot it. Aemon does hit her with this something that's pretty strong of like we've got no choice, like we will die, or it's something to that effect, you know. And there was a brief moment where I was like, fuck this guy, but he's kind of right. They kind of need all hands on deck. But again, like I said, to her credit, Alicent does not back down. And she continues to she hits him back with something. My memory is failing me right now.
And I did not take note of it.
But yeah, she strikes back, and it's almost this way of like she is trying to protect, like she's lost so much. Alicent has. She's trying to protect like her daughter's just like self, her innocence, if you will.
I feel like she has abandoned her innocence, or she knows that her innocence has died, and she's trying to save what is left of Helena's,
correct,
and Jaehaerys,
and yes, and it's a daughter, right?
Yeah, daughter. Yeah. And like, I am upset that I didn't take note of this, like her specific line, but if anybody ever can step like in an aggressive like dialogue with Aemon and have him turn around and leave the conversation,
that's impressive.
It is just impressive. Like, I'm not saying that this guy is just like some mastermind with words. I'm just saying like he bulldozes situations. Yes. And for her to stand her ground in this moment was just fantastic. It was a great showing. So
for sure, it was great.
And then we cut to also surprisingly another very good scene with Criston Cole.
My boy Crisco, low key, maybe my favorite scene of the episode.
Dude, this was a great scene, man.
For
several reasons.
For so many reasons. I love how I feel like it's midway or very early on in the conversation. Cole says something to the effect of like, "I have no philosophy," or "I'm not." I think he says, "I have no philosophy." Because he says something, and his name, what's the other guy's name? Gwaine says, like, that's quite the philosophy. I'm like, man, for someone who says they have no philosophy, my dude is sure sitting on this stump here philosophizing a lot. Like, this dude is fucking putting Aristotle to shame
he
over
is
here.
Spitting, dude.
He is spitting a hot fire. This scene was fantastic.
Yeah, man. Like, I feel like maybe on the audio, like the podcast version of where you all are listening to this, it's many of the like, the same, like our audience like that has been following. But I feel like on YouTube specifically, there's always like the random like they just find us on
People
YouTube
checking in. Yeah.
And I just want to say that in case you haven't heard us say this in previous episodes, like, I don't inherently like Criston Cole.
Yeah.
Like he's a dipshit. He's a dumbass. And I'm going to say that just to...
He's a real asshole.
Like, yeah, he's a piece of shit. But you said it earlier, talking about Alicent. Like, the greatest sin that a character commit in any series, book, whatever it is to be boring. And this guy, like, has been... especially since he's now in this like wartime mentality, he has been so interesting. Every scene he's been in has been like like, man, like, I don't like you, but I'm feeling for whatever it is you're going through.
Since Rook's Rest, especially, like, we've commented on it several times. He seems a little bit broken by the events that took place at Rook's Rest.
Yeah, and
he
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the line I for sure do specifically remember is in this scene. I was like, oh, that was a stinger. That was a banger of a line. He says, "When the dragons dance, men are man, I'm butchering it.
I have it if you want me to read it verbatim. He says, "The dragons dance, and men are like dust beneath their feet."
Yeah, fuck yes.
And then a couple more exchanges happens before he then delivers, "We march now towards our annihilation. To die would be a kind of relief."
A kind of relief.
And then the music, and I'm like, oh my God, it's just like a fucking banger.
The look on Gwain's face, dude. Like,
he just
shouts to my boy Gwain when he says that, and Gwain's just like, shit.
Oh shit, dude.
Kind of right though.
Fucking chap my lips, dude.
It's like two dudes getting high and just like being like, shit, he right though. It
Dude,
would be a relief.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, and what you said, like how he does like a full 360 turn, kind of decides he doesn't know where to go or what to do,
and just sits with him.
Just sits down next to him.
Oh my! Dude, this scene was truly beautiful, man.
This scene was great. I loved it. I love these two now. All of a sudden, I mean, not all of a sudden, but
okay. I do want to say for shitting on Crisco. I did think it was very funny that this scene starts with his face, and then it's just looking down at Alicent's favor, like the handkerchief.
What's so
and he's
funny
just like,
about that?
He's just smelling it. It's just like, dude is down bad.
Yeah, listen, I was kind of surprised.
Simp of the realm, I swear.
Like, Gwain, like, listen, I'm not going to say that it's not obvious, but also Gwain is kind of making some leaps in logic, because isn't it just like a thing that, you know, ladies give to their favor? Yeah. But he's just like, you fucking my sister, bro. Not cool.
I have a suspicion. I mean, I think that it's probably speculated among many people at court.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But yes. Anyway, fantastic scene.
Yes,
anything else that you wanted to call out there?
Gosh, I feel like there is, but no, it was so good. Like I said, him turning around and sitting on the log next to him was so good. Also, just all the, like, I feel like this would have been really easy just to have these two kind of secluded in their own place, like having this conversation. But no, there's like legit a decent amount going on in the background of these shots. There's like guys like just stopping and staring and being like watching this showdown. And man, it was beautifully shot, as this show generally is. So good. Just a great scene.
Okay, and then we're gonna skip over the Tylan mud fight scene. Yeah. We talked about that already. Okay. Bela walks in on Jace pouting.
Oh, he's mewing, you mean?
And she delivers the banger of a line. "It does not befit a prince to mew."
I literally, at the instant she said, "It does not befit a prince," I like shouted out loud alone in my house at the TV, "To mew! You mean to mew? It does not befit a prince to mew."
And I can't, this was moving a little fast and I didn't get the full quote, but she's talking about, I mean, okay, so this, I'm going to paraphrase this scene. So Jace is still feeling some type of way about the new dragon seeds, the dragon riders, that they're not of royal birth.
Right.
Because he feels like it hurts his claim and it leans into everybody calling him a bastard.
Mm-hmm.
And Bela is just such an incredible, like, resolute character and provides so much clarity to these fucking men who don't know what the fuck they're doing. When she does this with Corlys and then she does it with Jace here.
Have I mentioned before that Bela is the MV fucking P?
Yes, you have, and it is the absolute truth. Now that
Bela's
Rhaenys is
the other
gone,
one, by
Bela
the way.
is the fucking... What was that?
Bela is the second character. I already loved Bela, but it was this conversation with Jace where it like fully crystallized. I was like, God, is Bela just my other favorite character in the show?
She's so good.
Like the opposite ends of the spectrum, by the way, like super pragmatic, like
Right.
caring Bela, and then just dipshit Ulf.
So she says, she delivers this is the back half of the line, and I feel like a fuckhole for not having the whole thing, but she says, in resenting it, you only diminish yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's
Get
so
up and
good.
take your place by your mother's side. And I'm like, yo, who in the fuck is complaining about the dialogue in this show? Because what? It's so
that's an amazing line. She is saying all the things to Jace that I basically complained about
yes
last episode, where I'm like, Jace, you're losing points here,
Yes.
my guy. What are you doing? Negative aura over here.
negative aura.
And Bela comes in and just says, this is, oh my God, Bela is so just my character. Like, she's just so pragmatic. Like, there's another point where she says here, she says to him, you're angry, and he looks at her like, well, aren't you? And she just responds with the, I don't see what good it would do me to be angry. And I'm like, fucking yes, that is so good. That is the type of attitude that I try, listen, not always successful, but I try to live my life by. Is just like, what good
I'm having so many Vietnam flashbacks of playing Apex Legends with you. I'm going to tell you this shit, by the way.
You get way more mad than me.
I get mad at you being mad.
No, I'm just, that's different. That's not me being mad. That's me shitting on the game. That's different.
Okay, all right.
But no, it's just so good. It's just like, what good would it do me to be mad about this? Like, seriously. And
it is fantastic.
Just hitting him with the, you are diminishing yourself. Like,
yes,
no one is putting you down except you, my guy.
Yes.
And she's just so supportive and helpful, like you said, of these idiot, like, she did the exact same thing for Corlys a couple episodes ago. I feel like she tried to do the same thing with her sister too, if memory serves, when she was going off. Her sister didn't kind of take it as well, but
with Rhaena, she was just assuring her. Rhaena was pissed that Rhaenys, or excuse me, that Rhaenyra was sending her on this whatever. And Bela reassured her quite a bit, and helped her understand, like, hey, this is important.
Yes,
like, she's putting a lot of trust in you.
Yeah, these are her sons, dude.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Bela, but the MVP, like,
absolutely.
Full stop.
What I wanted to say is that, like, I really love and appreciate that Bela doesn't tell Jace that his feelings are wrong. She doesn't tell him he's an idiot. Because, like, Jace's feelings here are, they're valid. They're real feelings that, like, make sense for him to be feeling. She helps him see the fact that, like, sometimes you have to, like, acknowledge your feelings in a way that are going to allow you to move forward.
Yes.
And she does such a fantastic job with that, man. I love this scene.
That's spot on. She's helping him understand that unless he accepts, like, these feelings that he's having, like, he'll never get past them. Like, they'll be with him, and he'll carry that with him forever. Yeah, it's amazing. Bela is so good.
In resenting it, you only diminish yourself.
That's a great line.
What a banger.
That's a banger.
Okay, and then we get, I'm guessing, your second favorite scene in this episode, or probably close to it. We get Rhaenyra sitting with her dragonriders at dinner. We get your boy Ulf asking for some more wine, asking for one of them birds.
Them birds. He needs those tasty birds, bro.
No, yeah, this is a quick scene. Rhaenyra is ready to strike. She's pushing for action. She tells them that they need to be ready to fucking do this thing in a couple days. I also love that Ulf is like, Silverwing's a goer, she is. Like we can handle Vhagar. Silverwing is fucking great, bro.
He's already just like, he's on such a like knowledgeable like level with his dragon already. Like, Silverwing, like, listen, me and Silverwing got this. We're old pals. We've been around the block a time or two. We can handle a Vhagar.
We've flown around King's Landing once or twice.
We've flown around. Silverwing's a real goer. It's
this
so
fucking
funny.
wig, Scott.
Yeah, well, this was your choice, pal. You've committed to the bit at this point. I also love how he's continuing to be like an ill-mannered asshole dipshit. Zach, if you don't quit playing with your fucking wig.
Wait. Look, I'm gonna do it like all over one side.
He's doing some dope shit right now, dude.
That's for the audio listeners that can't see you playing with your wig.
My god, it just won't get out of my eyes. All right.
Yeah, he's continued to be a dipshit, and Rhaenyra tries to hit him with this is not very knightly conduct at a queen's table. He's like, I guess you better make me a knight then already. Am I right?
I kind of love that, like, Rhaenyra has a little smirk.
She has a little bit, just
a
teeny bit. I love that the dynamic between the three new dragon riders is like, Addam is like, I'm all in, queen. I am yours to command. Like, listen. He's like drinking the Kool-Aid.
He's a soldier.
Yes, he's a soldier. Hugh is the middle ground. He was very even-tempered, like apologetic, but he's also like questioning. He does it like, I think he says at some point, like, you want us to kill innocents. Like, he's kind of like the even, ground.
Yes.
And then there's Ulf, who's just here to fucking party,
absolute
bro.
loose cannon.
Yes, absolute.
Dude is a
loose
frat
cannon.
boy if I've ever seen one.
The dynamic between the three of them, I do appreciate quite a bit.
Okay. So here we go. So yes, so we receive Simon Strong's letter. In which he is letting Dragonstone and Rhaenyra know that there is possible treason with Daemon and co. And Rhaenyra is like, hey, I can finally leave now because we have extra dragons. I can go do something about this. And it's like, Addam, let's go. My guy.
Yep. My guy, saddle up.
I think Jace is definitely feeling some type of way about it. The shot lingers on his face for a while. It's interesting because this scene comes after
the Baela
Jace scene, and I did feel like Jace was like
a little
leaning into like backing up Rhaenyra, which I liked and I appreciated that.
He also, he tells Ulf like, cool your jets, friend, or something to that effect. Like, I feel like he was a little more diplomatic than he was earlier with Ulf.
Yeah.
So I do feel like he's that has helped him at least somewhat.
So I hope that this isn't another setback. The fact that Rhaenyra is taking,
maybe
Addam, but anyway. Okay. So they fly off to Harrenhal, and then we cut to Harrenhal, where we see Daemon and Alice Rivers. Daemon is asleep. Alice Rivers is just sitting there on his bed, watching him doing her normal nightly stroll, I guess. And then she's like, "Hey,
did you just cast a spell on me, dude?"
That's Daemon wakes up and he's like,
"Dude,
did you just cast a spell on me?"
Pretty much. So she says, "All right, let's go take a walk."
Yeah, and he's just immediately down. Let's go meet Pan.
And I love this you kind of already have called this out, that he's just kind of resigned to the weirdness of this place, but she says something and he's like, okay. And she's like, you do not scoff?
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I'm no longer inclined to. And I'm just cracking up because I'm like, dude, this guy has been through it in here.
He has.
All right, dude. Whatever you want to throw at me, I guess. Let's go.
Like he sees a fucking. It literally seems like it's a fawn, like Pan or something, just like trouncing around the Godswood tree. It just kind of like rolls with it. It's just like, okay. Whatever, I guess. Like, my man is down for the Harrenhal madness at this point.
So
what do we think
get this...
that's about, by the way? Do you have any...
I have no clue.
Yeah,
Zero clue.
Yeah, true.
But we get this vision.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bit to unpack here.
Sure.
So the first
we see
thing
Brynden Rivers, first of all, shouts to my dude Bloodraven.
Which is the first
Three-Eyed Raven?
Three-Eyed Raven.
Well, no,
right?
it's him. It's the same dude.
Oh, it is
He's
the same
alive
guy.
for a long ass time.
Okay. I did not know. I'm a little off on the lore there. I did not know if Three-Eyed Raven was like almost like a position that like has passed to new Three-Eyed Ravens.
I can't remember specifically. That could be the case, but I do know. I hope I'm not way off on this. But no, it's like Bloodraven, Brynden Rivers was alive for an extremely long time, and this is, I believe, showing him as a young man. He's got the birthmark, so this is for sure him.
Okay.
Which the old dude with Bran did not have, but I think that was just like a choice. I'm pretty sure it's the same person.
Interesting. Okay. So it is interesting because it like I knew that Bloodraven's name was Brynden Rivers, and I never like Rivers is such a, I mean, it's a common surname for bastards in the Riverlands that I would have never like. I guess what I'm getting at here is like, does Alice, because she's also like a witch that has like these weird vision powers, is she like connected to Brynden in some way?
I don't know. Could be. He's a Targaryen bastard, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know if I mentioned
knew
that or if you knew that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Brynden Rivers is, that is. I don't know what Alice is, or if she's connected to him.
So this vision starts, and I'm not entirely sure if I can't tell if this is Brynden Rivers, Bloodraven, Three-Eyed Raven telling Alice Rivers, or maybe he has told her previously, like, hey, I need to deliver this vision. So she's like facilitating this for them through the...
I don't think so. Because if memory serves, if my timeline in my head is right, he should not be the Three-Eyed Raven yet. I think this is all future stuff that he is seeing, that Daemon is seeing.
Okay.
Because tonight, again, I could be way off on this, but if I'm recalling correctly, he should not become Brynden Rivers until like further along, closer to where like Game of Thrones starts.
Okay.
If I'm not getting things mixed up, but I'm almost positive. Yeah, he should not be the Three-Eyed Raven yet. So I believe this is all future stuff that Daemon is seeing.
Okay, but I mean, then that still begs the conversation of like, well, if he can see and interact with things in the past,
sure. No, true. Yeah, that is a thing that apparently those people can do. Well, Bran could do it at the very least.
So okay, so anyway, well, let's move forward a little bit. I was very curious on like how you understood the mechanics of what was happening here.
Yeah, no idea, to be honest.
Okay, all right, and that's fair, and that's okay. Like I don't have to have a full understanding of it. I guess because it even showed the Three-Eyed Raven, and then Helaena becomes a part of this vision.
Yeah,
who's like freely interacting with it. It seems like.
The Helaena angle is where I really got confused, because there was almost a couple cuts where I was like, is Helaena Alice Rivers? I was like, is she doing some kind of weird, like, I don't know what I was thinking. I just had that brief thought because there was something about, there was a transition or the way that Helaena was reacting to something that I was like, are they connected? Is like she projecting her consciousness or...
Okay, so like we know that Helaena is a quote-unquote dreamer, who to my understanding, dreamers can just kind of like get glimpses of happenings. They're not always 100% right, but it's very cryptic. And again, also from my understanding, like it's never like a super clear like this is what is going to happen.
Right.
Which is its own separate thing. And so that's why I just think it's strange that it is somehow manifesting itself or appearing in this like green seeing type of.
I have to assume that this is like, it doesn't seem like Daemon should be able to just touch the tree and see this. I have to assume that this is Alice Rivers doing, and she's allowing him, giving him this glimpse or allowing to see it through whatever weird powers she has. Because is that what you're trying to get at? Because I don't feel like Daemon should be able to just touch a weirwood tree and see the future.
Right. Okay, so it's being facilitated by Alice Rivers to some degree. And
I would assume so.
And then Helaena pops up. And I don't understand how like being a Targaryen dreamer connects to being a I mean, what is it? Just green seer, right? Is what this is? Like or whatever powers Alice has. I guess part of me was wondering and maybe a little scared, though I fully admit my ignorance here. I just don't like fully understand it. I was just a little worried, like, are they breaking some form of like magic mechanic of like like is like green sight is different than being a dreamer?
I believe
and
so,
like
yeah.
And so is this implying that like dreamers can like maybe they have other types of things that they can do like this? Because it just seems like she's like freely interacting with this vision. So
I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to understand all the ins and outs and the mechanics of this because I was a little confused by it. And like I said, I don't know that I needed, like, we talked about this at length, so I won't belabor it, but like the tie-in angle. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't dislike it.
Sure, look, it was a cool vision. We see some White Walkers. We see them stepping over a bunch of dead bodies, a dead dragon. Are we seeing the events of the Long Night, like the fight at Winterfell?
I think the most of the fighting stuff is either meant to portray, like, possibly Robert's Rebellion, the Trident fight, because I feel like that transition maybe directly to the Daenerys stuff, or I could be misremembering. Or it's just showing what's about to happen, like in the Civil War, like between the Targaryens. That's what I assume.
And then we see Daenerys with her 3 dragons, and then we get
the comet too.
Yes, the comet and the cool. 3 eggs. Yeah, that was very cool. And lastly, we get Helaena, and her line is, "It's all a story, and you're but one part in it. You know your part. You know what you must do."
Which again is very similar to what Alice Rivers told him an episode or 2 ago. She like told him, "You're not the player, you're a piece on the board," or something to that effect. So that's again where I was like, is Helaena Alice Rivers? I have no idea the mechanics of this. It's just I get the sense they're connected, whether they're both just kind of having the same dream or what have you. I don't know, but it just seems like they have a deeper connection.
Yeah, or they're having, and you kind of said this, like maybe some type of like parallel like understanding or like experience, like maybe they experience their visions in different ways, but they're experiencing some of the same stuff.
Right.
So yeah, it could be any number of those things. I would love to explore some of this a little bit more in the next season. Like if we get, I like just a little understanding. I don't need like a full.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Okay, and then this scene transitions directly into the Aemond Helaena scene.
Just another great scene.
Which is also a great scene, but then it brings more questions onto Helena's abilities, and that's why I think so much of this is like, it's just so ambiguous, and I want a little bit more understanding. But so this scene, Aemond visits Helaena, and the way that it's cut makes it seem like Helaena is standing out on this balcony overlooking the city, and it seems like she is interacting with this vision that Daemon just had. Like it's cut in a way where it's like that's what she's actively doing.
Does seem that way, yeah.
It's so interesting.
It's very strange.
So
yes.
could just be me, but
right.
So
hey,
anyway,
I'm here for it. I'm here for the intrigue, honestly.
Definitely. So Aemond comes to her to again try and convince her to join Harrenhal, and he takes
little more tactfully.
A lot more tactfully. Yeah. I liked this quite a bit for him. He says, like, listen, like, our mother's not a dragon rider.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are destined for more. Like you have claimed a dragon, and whether you want to or not, the lives of us, the lives of our people depend on our ability to act. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. Like, This is what the messaging he's giving her. And he asks her to join him to Harrenhal, to face Daemon, which is another thing, another tie-in to the fact that it just cut from that scene. I just feel like there's this weird connection thing happening. But Helaena turns to Aemond and says, "Will you burn me as you burned Aegon?"
Oh, I seen it.
That is a lie. I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
You burned him and you let him fall.
You let him fall.
What?
Hell yeah.
Like, what?
Give me more, Helaena. This is
Dude,
good
give
stuff.
me so much more, please. I need this intrigue, but also I just want to see her, like, be a person and, like...
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I really like her. Man, these were some good scenes, dude.
Yeah. Aemond continues to kind of deny it and is like, this is treason. Like, I could, have you killed for this and blah, blah. And she's kind of just like, whatever, bro. Like,
yeah.
You think,
sorry, I had
you think that scares me or something to that effect? Like,
I had a break in my notes and I didn't realize that wasn't supposed to be there. Yeah, this is the same scene. She goes on to tell him, you were swallowed up in the God's Eye.
Yes, okay,
and never seen again.
I want to talk about this. So,
the God's Eye is the place next to Harrenhal, right? The lake?
The God's Eye is sick as fuck. It's an enormous, enormous lake.
And it's where the children of the forest are said to live?
Well, so there's an island in the very center of the God's Eye that, yes, the rumor is that there are still children of the forest that live on the island in the God's Eye. But it is an enormously huge lake. So, yes, and it's like barely discussed or talked about in any of the books, at least from what I can recall. But it's one of those places that sounds super cool. And yeah, when she's like, you're swallowed up by the God's Eye, that just like, yeah, is
like he's gonna drown. He's gonna drown in that. Like he's
like,
he's
it seems like
fight.
He's probably gonna get in some battle over the lake, and yes, like crash, get knocked into the lake, and yeah, like just disappear and never be heard from again is what she's sure seeming to
You
imply.
Were swallowed up in the God's Eye and never seen again. Oh,
that's a little foreboding if you're
it's a
out
little on the
milk.
nose.
Yeah, it's a little. I think he's a little taken aback by that. Like, oh, that doesn't sound so great for me, does it?
Aemond says, "I could have you killed," and she just hits back with, "It wouldn't change."
That's
anything.
what it was. Yes, it wouldn't change.
It wouldn't change anything.
That's so good. Like, you'll still get lost in the God's Eye, my dude.
What, dude? This is insane,
great.
Man. This is insane.
I do love that. I'm here for the Helaena intrigue for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Anything else there in that exchange? Okay.
No.
Next up, I've got Rhaenyra and Addam arrive at Harrenhal. My notes here are a little bit... Oh, no. Okay, again, why did I break this up? Okay, sorry.
We kind of went through a lot of this already. This is like where Daemon recommits himself to her, yeah?
Yes, but I do have some specifics that I want to talk about. Okay. So Rhaenyra and Addam fly back. They fly to Harrenhal. And she walks in, And everybody
Good
notices
for
her.
Caraxes having some friends around finally, by the way.
Yeah, dude.
Also, shouts to Caraxes getting, it's a her. Caraxes is a her, I think, right?
I think Caraxes is a girl, yeah.
Her favorite meal. She prefers pigs, turns out.
Yes.
She loves
Yes.
her some pork, turns out.
I do
Not
love
so
me
much
some
for
pork
the
too.
lamb. Yeah, pork, yeah. Based. Caraxes is so based for that one. Like, pork is way better than lamb.
Okay, so she walks into this great hall and it's very awkward. Everybody kind of notices her, but they're not sure what to do
They
about
just
this.
stand around and like...
And Daemon walks up and he says, essentially, I have an army now. They're sworn to me. And the timing is perfect or something. I'm paraphrasing again, and the timing is perfect. And Rhaenyra hits him back with, and to whom are you sworn?
It should have been me!
Yeah. Dude, okay, so like I'm with you about the whole vision. Like we don't need this tie-in. But this interaction was gorgeous. I loved Daemon.
Yeah?
Oh my god, yes.
Okay.
Dude. I fucking loved it. It was so hot too. Like the way he kneeled and said what he said, it was so hot, dude.
I've seen hotter.
So he does hit us with a cheeky little winter is coming.
Yeah, he does. This fucking wannabe Stark ass motherfucker. See, this is what I'm talking. That just there's something about that just rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it.
So I'm gonna slide that off to the side because I don't super care about it. I just wanted to call it out.
Yeah.
But he says, I saw it. I saw that we cannot beat it, but somehow we must. The realm needs a leader who can unite it. And my brother chose you. Daemon kneels. You are the true Queen Rhaenyra, first of her name, protector of the realm. I am meant to serve you and all of those with me until death or until the end of our story. And then the whole room kneels behind him. What was that?
What does that mean? Death or the end of our story?
I don't know, but it sounds poetic and it got me like super hard, dude. This was so hot to me.
Okay.
And the whole room kneels behind him. And Rhaenyra, leave me again at your peril.
That was pretty spicy. I liked that.
And then my heart, I could not. I have tried, my queen. Oh, dude, I was so into this, bro. I was so into this.
Fair enough.
Man.
But also something tells me he's probably gonna try again at some point.
No. I think his arc has been done. He's gonna die for her, dude. He's going to fucking die. No, that's me, dude. Nope.
I don't know. I mean, you're probably right, but he's just, you can never, like, he's the ultimate wild card. You're here acting like his arc is complete, his wild cardness has disappeared, he's fully Team Rhaenyra, and you could be right, but I'm just over here being like, man, I feel like I've heard this song and dance from him before.
See, here's what I think. I think that just like, yes, he is the ultimate wild card, but like, this is the end of his arc, but the only part that's missing is like the battle where he actually backs up what he's just said, which I think is going to happen.
Or he leaves Harrenhal and is like, was I under a spell? What the fuck? No, I want the crown. What the hell? That place is fucking cursed.
That one, there's no shot that happens.
I would legitimately love that if that did happen.
There is no shot that happens. Dude,
did you just cast a spell on me, dude?
The laugh is so long.
This whole like kneeling thing,
it's so hot.
It's so hot. Yeah. I have been so into like, dude. So sidebar and quick plug for our new listeners. Scotty and I are about I don't know, maybe like a third of the way through
Akamath,
the second of the ACOTAR books, A Court of Mist and Fury.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been liking this book a lot, especially comparatively to the first one.
Time flies.
But like, there's something about this whole like hot like chivalry like type of display, like I'm here to serve you, I serve you, and him like kneeling to her, that I was like, dang, dude, like
you're getting corrupted by the hotness.
I am getting corrupted, dude. The fucking Sarah J. Maas has fucked my ass, dude. She's fucked my mass.
Yeah, she has for sure.
Okay, and then Simon Strong's face pulls me back into reality, and he's just Strong.
Like. He literally does like a little like his hands are all up here and just like yay.
It's so good, man.
Oh, I love that guy.
Okay, you could take it from here. We get this Alyn Corliss scene. Did you enjoy this?
Oh yeah. Listen. I'm glad that dude Alyn got this shit off his chest because he was obviously repressing a lot of emotions.
Yes.
Like a lot of emotions. Like he seemed so relatively chill, like as when he was talking to his brother, and his brother was like, "Hey, we deserve more, man," and all this, and he's kind of like, "Can't you just be content with your place in life?"
Yeah.
And now here he is, like, "Bro, you fucked us. You fucked us hard."
Yeah.
Like, and now you were trying to, and see the thing. What I do appreciate the angle that they took here from Alyn is not that he didn't recognize them as children. It's what seems to be really pissing him off is that now that his other children are dead,
yes,
now he's trying to come in and like play the father.
1,000%.
That is what is pissing Alyn off, and he's like, "We didn't need you. We don't need you. We're fine and capable on our own." Full stop.
When we did need you, we figured it out, and you were comfortable and safe. Yeah.
Like you can take your charity, your late charity, and shove it. Basically,
we've talked a little bit about this actor.
He's so good.
I'm sorry, I don't. Well, see, I struggled with the scene. If I'm
really,
honest, Scott.
No,
yeah,
I thought he was great.
See, I thought the dialogue was like incredible, but I felt like the delivery was a little forced.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I don't know what it was. There's something about like him talking through his like teeth.
He is a big teeth talker.
I
thought Corliss was a little awkward in this scene. He just
I thought both of them were like. This
kind of
scene just
stood
seemed
there
off.
awkwardly and didn't react.
Yeah,
very strongly. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, good dialogue. I mean, it was a good moment to have. I feel
like that's an important conversation for them to air out the dirty laundry there. You know.
Yeah. My next note is Rhaenyra talks with Mysaria. Beautiful lighting, normal scene. Moving on.
Okay. No, I want to call this out because we talked about this at the end of last episode. That I felt there should definitely be repercussions for what Rhaenyra did in order to get her 2 new dragon riders, and there was zilch all. And I will say I am not happy about that. I just don't think that's properly written. I think there should be some Mysaria, Miss Champion of the small folk over here, maybe a little upset about that. Nah, she's fine. She's cool. She's like, "Hey, you did a great thing. Look at you.
Yeah.
You killed like 50 people. You're sick."
I agree with you.
I need to call that out.
I do 100% agree.
I think that's a misstep.
Okay. This is where we get some shit, Scott.
Is this where the music? Oh no, this is Rhaenyra and Alicent.
This is Rhaenyra and Alicent. Rhaenyra is asleep.
Yes. Fuck.
She's
Jesus.
in bed. And there's a knock on her door, and her Kingsguard tells her, "You gotta come with me. You better come over here." And Alicent has arrived.
Hell yeah.
She has showed up on Dragonstone. I don't have many quotes from this entire thing. What do you have from this section?
No quotes immediately come to mind. I know there were some banger lines, but like it's just good stuff. I feel like Rhaenyra is being a little shitty, like just a little petty, hypocritical, like because Alicent is coming to her like very like, you know, olive branch in hand. And Rhaenyra is kind of just being a little petty about it. Like, Oh, now you want to make peace?
I don't know that I feel the same.
Okay. I felt just like Rhaenyra, like, because she came to Alicent first.
Mm-hmm.
And Alicent basically told her, in more or less words, like, we can't stop this.
Yes.
Like, blood has been spilled. It doesn't matter what I do or don't think. This is happening.
Which I think is true.
Which I think is 100% true. Because, I mean, obviously Rhaenyra doesn't know the behind the scenes, but the coup was being planned without Alicent's knowledge anyway.
Yes.
And Alicent says that, like, something to that effect of, like, you think I could have stopped it even if I wanted to?
Yeah.
She's like, listen, I thought that's what Viserys wanted, but I couldn't stop it if I wanted to. And Alicent is coming to Rhaenyra with a possible ending to the struggles.
Yes.
And Rhaenyra's, like I said, kind of just being a little bit of petty bee about it.
I just think that Rhaenyra is extremely cautious because of what you called out, how it ended last time. Like, Alicent was like, we're not going to do this. We can't do anything about this. Like, I have to be all in on my family now. Like, this is the choice that we've made, unfortunately, or that I'm having to make.
But the situation has changed drastically, though.
Yes, but still, I mean, this is the person who you probably, in a way, like, is the icon of your enemy. Like in your in Rhaenyra's mind, when she pictures her enemy,
she Aemond, though.
Well, yes, but she likely is picturing Alicent. I mean, it's her closest friend,
yes.
You know. So this person just walks up and is like, "Hey, you can take our city." I think that Rhaenyra is extremely hesitant and just, like, needs to question the fuck out of her. Like, I really, really like when she's like Alicent begins saying something about, like, again, forgive me, I don't have the exact line, but she talks about Aegon, like, being spared.
Yes.
And Rhaenyra is like, you cannot continue to think that you're able to just get what you want.
Sure.
With no price paid. You know how this has to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually are coming to me because you think I will be able to bring peace to the realm, take the throne, and it be done, you have to understand that I will have to kill my your competition. Like, you have to understand.
That's fair from Rhaenyra. Like, totally legit. But to Alicent's credit, she was doing everything she did in, like, writing to Rhaenyra and all that to specifically try and spare Rhaenyra and her family. Like, she did not want to go down this path where they were having to eliminate the competition, so to speak, you know?
Right.
And now Rhaenyra is, like, throwing that back in her face of, like, well, no, it has to be done.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, I think that this is, like, I feel like the reaction is honest and the way that it probably should be played out.
Sure.
Like, there is a little bit of spitefulness. There's a little bit of, like, I mean, pettiness, maybe, yes. Maybe isn't I don't think that that's a wrong thing to say. But it just, like, this was such, oh my God, dude, I really like this scene.
I really want to watch this scene
heavy.
Again because there's so much to unpack. Like, it's a long conversation and there's so much going on. Yeah, I really want to watch it again because I'm sure there's way more that can be said about it. I do like the struggle, like, in Alicent, because she has definitely had her ups and downs with Aegon, but where she's come to a point where she's willing to sacrifice him if need be for, again, this is kind of a continuation with what happened with Aemond earlier, where it's like she is just committing everything to Helaena now.
Yes.
Like, that is I almost get the feeling that if part of the bargain was to give up herself, but Helaena and Helena's daughter would be spared,
yes,
she would do it. I don't know that for sure, but I get that kind of sense and commitment from her. Because she obviously it's extremely painful for her. Aegon is her son.
Yes.
But she relents, and it's like,
dude,
if it
can I
means
just say,
getting Jaehaera and Helaena out of there, then I'll do it.
When Rhaenyra says, "You know how this must be," and then she challenges her, choose.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably 10 seconds of just silence.
It was very long. Yes.
Of Alicent, just on Alicent's face, her choked up, not being able to make this decision, tears in her eyes. It was so heavy, dude.
You called it out. Olivia Cooke fucking crushed it this episode. There was so much there was this nervous fidgeting and just stuff she was doing with her hands throughout the entire episode.
Biting her nails, which is what young Alicent used
She
to
was
do.
doing stuff where she was grabbing her neck like this, and just it was just it all looked so believable, and just the torment she was kind of going through.
Well, and the biting the nails thing is something that young Alicent did a lot.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Scott, man, this scene was brilliant, dude.
It was great.
It was so good.
And this is where the music kicks.
Oh my god, dude.
And
is this
Scott
the best
gets
track?
Gooned up out of his mind.
Is this the best song that House of the Dragons has put out?
It might be.
The other one, the other runner-up is the ha 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 ha.
I don't know, because there's the one that played during the Green Council episode, I think. That was really good too.
Yes.
It's not coming to me off the top of my head what it sounds like.
No, but dude, this piano and strings is just...
It's so good.
It is some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard.
Also, just the sickest fucking...
montage?
Get me bricked up montage ever.
Yeah,
you show me Jason Lannister and his lion, I'm already bricked up, first of all. Then it hit, and it showed the Northmen crossing the Frey Bridge, and it incorporated the North theme into the sick-ass music as it's showing them, and I'm like, putty. Again, I'm puttying your hands. You play the North theme for me.
So I have each scene, each part of the montage. I have them all listed out because I watched it twice. I was like, this is
very
so beautiful.
Again, I'm so torn about this too because it fucking blue balls me so hard.
Dude, yeah. Okay, so it starts off with the dragon seeds. They're gearing up.
Mm-hmm.
Rhaena finding sheep. Oh, by the way, sheep stealer.
Oh yeah. We see. Yeah, we follow her throughout the episode as she is cold and hungry and thirsty. And all that shit.
Sheep stealer is smenacing looking, dude. That looks like a wild dragon.
Yes. The wild dragon,
ragged ass,
all splotchy and just kind of gross looking. I did not expect sheep stealer to look.
Pretty.
I don't know what I expected the sheep stealer to look like, but I did not expect that, I don't think.
Okay, so we get Rhaena finding sheep stealer.
Mm-hmm.
We get the High Towers marching, and Daeron and Tessarion. Yep, just wait.
Yes.
It's at the end.
Okay.
Yes, it's at the end, bitch.
Fuck! How could I forget about
the High
this?
Towers and Daeron flying Tessarion. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Which he's blue, midnight blue.
Yeah, he looks sick as hell.
Sick as fuck.
Yeah.
We see the Starks crossing the twins.
Mm-hmm.
I was disappointed that I did not see Cregan.
Yeah.
But they look badass.
Yeah.
We get the Lannisters. Oh, so yes, the Northern theme is incorporated into the Starks part, and then Reigns of Castamere is incorporated into the Lannisters. We get Daemon in the Riverlands.
Tell where the Lannisters were? Was that Harrenhal in the distance? I assume it had to be.
I think they were. I guess that would make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I guess it could have been the Tooth. No, because they were marching towards
past the Tooth.
Yeah,
the other thing I was like, is it supposed to be the twins? Maybe are we going to get two separate battles, or the Northern force is going to clash with the Lannisters and the Cole's forces clash at?
Well, I don't think the the Westerlands wouldn't be able to. If they were at the tooth, they wouldn't be able to get to the twins without going through Harrenhal.
You're probably right.
Okay, so then we get Daemon in the Riverlands. We get Tyland sailing to the Gullet.
Mm-hmm.
Corlys boarding the queen, whoever never ever was.
True.
And then we get Otto.
Dude, I was like,
captured.
They're like zooming in on this cage. I'm like, what is this? Who is this? And I like didn't recognize him at first until the very end, and I was just like, what? Otto? Why they got my dude in a cage? What is happening? He looks terrible.
So he's definitely taken by like the Beesburys, right?
I guess. I don't know who else would have taken it. They did mention he had like disappeared, right?
Yeah, he hadn't been responding to letters.
What the fuck?
That is fucking wild.
Yeah, I about shit myself when I saw Otto. That's my fucking guy. What is he? What is happening to my guy?
We get Aegon leaving with Larys.
Yes. So Aegon relented. Aegon agreed.
Yes. And then, Scott, we get one of the most brilliant shots. I need to say, like, some of these cuts, some of these edits made me feel like I was watching something as massive as, like, Dune. Like,
sure.
Some of this felt like Denis Villeneuve's, like, editing style.
Extremely just, like, epic in scope, for sure.
Oh, my God. It was gorgeous. So we get this cut of Alicent looking out.
Oh, yeah.
And then we get this cut of Rhaenyra looking out. And then it pulls back to behind Rhaenyra, and you're viewing like the crisscross of like where all the scrolls go.
Oh, yeah.
And Rhaenyra fits perfectly in the center and the bottom of one. It's a beautiful shot. And it immediately changes to Alicent being in the exact same position, but overlooking like a cliffside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just whenever I fucking love when you get a little tiny person with a big scenery.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, it fucking gets me every time, bro. Yeah. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. No, listen. This montage was incredible. I honestly really thought we were gonna get the actual bonding, like, more with Sheepstealer and Rhaena. God. So I was a little surprised by that, but I mean, again, like, I already know people are gonna complain about nothing actually happened though. And
we're right where we were last episode.
I can understand the sentiment, but everything here was so good and well done. I can't be mad at them 100%. About it.
That's what it is. Like, would it have been nice to get a battle, right? Like some of what's been plotting, like, to amount to like action, sure. But I will often remind myself, and I find myself having to remind people when I talk about the show outside of our podcast. We are not watching a show about dragon fights. We're watching a show about people. And there's so much more about war than just the fights. Like,
yes.
Like, we may not be further along in action than we were last episode, which also I don't think is true. But if that's the argument, it's like, yeah, but now, like, we have so much more understanding and intrigue around so many of the big characters.
Yeah.
Like, Daemon has solidified his position.
Yeah.
We've got so much intrigue. Right. So much intrigue and, like, lore and, like, magic and, like, stuff around that's happening with Helaena.
And Alice Rivers, yeah.
We understand that Aemon is fucking scared.
Mm-hmm.
We've got We finally get to see the High Towers marching with Tessarion. We find out Otto is captured. We get to learn and care about and discern the differences in personality and with them coming together between the 3 dragon seeds. Like this is what Game of Thrones is known for, is giving us this. Like
that's what I was gonna say. Like, look at the first season of Game of Thrones. They literally fast forward through every major battle. Like Tyrion gets knocked unconscious. We don't see it. And that's one of the most goated seasons of television ever, in my opinion. Like, the big battles are nice, don't get me wrong, but I would much rather take fewer extremely high quality battles than more lower quality battles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because like none of that means anything if you don't
have
like
the substance behind it.
Yeah, if you don't have a vested interest in characters and like fully like their storylines get a chance to like breathe and like live with you for a minute.
If we don't care about the characters on the ground, like the battles are meaningless.
Yes.
Like if we don't care about Aegon and Criston and Rhaenys and
whoever else,
Almond Milk to an extent, like Rook's Rest doesn't mean jack, you know?
Yep.
Like it's just like dudes fighting.
Yep.
Gwaine, how could I forget my dude Gwaine? He's there. He's fighting.
So, all right. So this brings me to an extremely hard question, Scott.
Uh-huh.
Who wins this episode?
No, this one's easy. The rating's hard. Alicent wins this episode.
Alicent wins this episode.
Alicent wins this episode. Alicent, Olivia Cooke fucking crushed it. Like
yeah, man, just on performance alone, you may be right.
And I think she is trying to, like, I so respect the decision to just be like, this is a clusterfuck. I don't need this. I don't want this anymore. I'm getting out of the game. Like, I just respect that decision. And I'm also trying to protect my daughter and my granddaughter.
Yes.
And that is what is all that is important to me right now. Like, I think that is such a cool choice for her character to make.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Oh man. Yeah, I think
you're gonna say Daemon or some shit or Rhaenyra. You think
Rhaenyra is a strong possibility just for positioning, but like, oh man, see, to be honest though, like scenes that I liked the most, it could go Helaena, dude. She's so interesting to me, dude.
That would be a wild choice. I kind of love it.
I'm so intrigued by her, and her scenes were fantastic. But no, I mean, like, Alicent delivers so much in this episode. I think it would be unjust to not. I'll go Alicent. With Helaena probably a very close runner up. Yeah. What do you rate this episode?
This is difficult. I don't suppose you remember what I rated episode 4 and 1, do you?
I don't recall. No.
Trying to think. I feel like, I don't know. Do I like it more than episode 1 or not? Do I like it more than episode 4? Do you have a rating?
Yeah, I do. Mine's a 9.5. This episode was like,
it was really good.
Like despite the dumb shit with
Thailand,
which I mean, thankfully didn't take too long.
Yeah, and it wasn't like,
this episode was truly like
bad.
Nearly perfect. Like the only things that people could say negatively.
Qualms.
The only things that I think that people can say negatively is like, oh, nothing happened, but like,
no, that's just commons talking. Things happen.
That's just dumb. But like, I guess what I'm saying is like, even without there being major action taken in this episode, it was still objectively just like phenomenal.
God, I just remembered the Gwaine and Criston scene. 9.5. I'll shake the 9.5.
Yeah,
I was leaning 9.
So good.
but then I remembered the Criston and Gwaine scene that I think is still low key my favorite scene of the episode.
It's fantastic, dude.
God, yeah, I am.
Hell yeah!
I
I'm
feel
so
like,
glad you liked this episode, dude.
because I feel like a lot of people were starting to be like, some of my coworkers included. Yeah, season 2 is a letdown compared to season 1. Season 2 is a letdown. Season 2 is a letdown, and I already before watching this episode, I disagreed with that sentiment because, the big difference for me is just a lack of Patty, which we all know I love.
Sure.
So being without that, sure. In that aspect, is it lower on the list? Sure. But the season hasn't been bad. Like, we're not talking like Game of Thrones season 5 or Game of Thrones season 7, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's still been very good things. Has it been perfect? No. Has it been as good as season 1? Probably not. But a letdown? No, come on. You're overreacting. So
yeah,
yeah,
that is an overreaction, like it in the fullest, because like even the episodes that have been not as strong, which I don't think that there's been a bad episode, but even if the episodes that like weren't like incredible or weren't great are still just
really good episodes of
objectively
television.
Good television. Yeah, it's just good television. It's just,
the bar is high.
It's so high. This fucking show is fantastic, dude.
What I was gonna say is, I do not think it's a letdown. All that being said, I do feel like I have renewed vigor for what comes next, though, and that's just, I think, a testament to how well this like outro, this big epic climax was.
That epic climax was unbelievable.
I'll have an epic climax.
Yeah, you will.
Jesus, I knew this episode was gonna go long. I didn't think it was gonna go that long.
Yeah.
Hey, we should shout out our patrons because we love them. Thank you, Nico, Dom, Jordan, Nathan, Jen, Allie, Chaz, Jenna, Terrence, Andrea, Emma, Kristen, Sarah, and Hannah. We love you most of all. Thank you for supporting us. And we thank you for joining us, sticking with us, and supporting us in any way that you can. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your grandma. She loves us. You know
Grandmas
she does.
do love the Myth Keepers
Grandmas
podcast.
Love us.
And if you're wondering what the fuck do we do now that House of the Dragon is done and we don't get to listen to these two dipshits talk about House of the Dragons, as I mentioned earlier, we are currently diving through the ACOTAR series. It is our first time reading a romantasy. And we're having a lot of fun with it. So if you guys are interested in that, you'll find those episodes here on our channel as well. We would love to see you guys coming back to hang out with us. And if we don't, well, fine then. Fuck you. Just kidding. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
For season 3,
yeah,
assholes.
we'll see you in 2, 3, 4 years. You guys have a good night. Goodbye.
That's how you end the season, baby.
Hell yeah.